right, so we are back once again. JD, how are you today?
Good, man. Good.
You feeling all right?
Everything's good.
Yeah, what's going on?
What is today? Wednesday?
Yeah.
Wednesday morning in LA. Just started the new year. Man, just grinding away. You know how we do.
I know. Well, this is a special one for me today. As our audience, I think they know, I spent some time in Tucson growing up. The Arizona Wildcats were a big deal for me. And I'm sitting here with Arizona legend, Parker. Yes, you. Oh, come on. Parker Jackson Cartwright. How are you today?
I'm good. Thank you for having me on, man.
Oh, it's our pleasure. So first question for you right off the bat. Are you a Lakers or are you a Clippers guy? Because you grew up here in LA.
Oh, yeah.
So do you feel like you're more of a Lakers or a Clippers guy?
I'm big on the Lakers. Like, as of recent, like a couple years, I've been like Lakers. I used to be a Phoenix Suns fan.
Yeah.
But I'm big on Lakers. My big brother loves the Clippers, so it's like.
So it's a little rivalry in the family and on the TV.
Yeah.
And is that because was that the Luke Walton connection or what's going on? Why the Lakers the last few years?
Well, I'm a big Bron fan.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, he's in LA. I'm from LA, so I'm riding with the Lakers.
You're with the Lakers now.
Yeah.
Do you feel like the Arizona stuff? Does it feel like a fraternity, like a family? Like, do you feel any connection to those guys, or do you feel like it's like, man, those are like old stories?
No, I mean it's the Arizona community in general. I think is big. It's a big family, especially the basketball community, because like we're the only thing in Tucson, and there's a lot of LA guys that went to Arizona. You know, like Miles Simon.
Yeah,
he was my coach.
And Miles is on the Lakers right now as a coach.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're all definitely close. You know. In terms of like when we see each other, it's like bear down, Arizona, that type of thing.
Yeah. So it's no impact though on your Lakers Clippers.
No, not at all.
No. You feel that way too, JD? Is it the same thing? Do you look at those old Michigan guys like, and you're like, you talk about Juwan Howard and all these guys? Does it feel like old news, or does it feel like, no, this is part of the family?
I don't know. It's kind of different. Like, it's two different eras, you know. Those guys, that Fab Five era is much different than the Beeline era. So
that's true.
Of course, it has, you know. Of course, you got pride when you see those guys, but I don't know. Like I feel that way when I see like the current guys. When I see Trey, when I see Glenn. I was with Glenn Robinson last night. Tim, like my teammates, you know.
Yeah.
But you know how the Michigan stuff got all messy. Those guys wasn't around for a long time.
Yeah,
like,
true.
I feel connection just because I'm like a hoop fanatic. Like, damn, that's Juwan, that's Jalen. Like,
yeah.
But I wouldn't say like alma mater wise, it's like that.
Man, so you're hanging out with Glenn Robinson. How's Glenn?
He's doing good.
Yeah.
Glenn's making music, man.
Really?
He was in the studio last night. He's pretty good too.
Oh, wow. So Parker, I think you're an incredible story. It seems like, you know, the Chance Betting podcast, we're all about this idea of making your own way, creating your own path. And it seems like your whole life you fought against obstacles. You're not the tallest man on the court. Tell us your story a little bit. Tell us how, like walk us through how you got to be where you are today. Just give us a little bit of the story.
Yeah, it definitely hasn't been easy. You know, I just think people are big on the eye test. You know, like, okay, we get a look at him. You know, they trying to judge you on, you know, your perception and how you look. And I've kind of gotten that my whole career, my whole life. Just starting out really young, always having to play against bigger kids and play up and older kids. And I just think from day one, people, you know, wanted to count me out and kind of write me off.
How did you deal with that at a young age? That must have been so frustrating.
Right, but you know, I have a really good support system and always have. You know, my dad was really active in my life and my basketball career, so I kind of just always had, you know, examples and experiences to learn from.
Yeah. So was it a thing where you decided to like just put it out on the court? You're like, man, I'm just gonna show people and.
Right. I mean, I always thought I was good enough. you know, and I always played bigger than I was. You know, I've never weighed more than 160 pounds, and I'm 5'8", so I've always just had a chip on my shoulder.
I think you were listed at 170 though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you know. Yeah, it was generous.
uh, so, what does it feel like in Los Angeles? I followed your career in high school. What does it feel like to be like an LA high school basketball legend? I feel like you're really well known in this area. A lot of people are looking up to you, always watching what you're doing. What's it like to be part of that circuit?
It's special. The LA basketball is a good place, for just talent. A lot of talent comes through here and a lot of competition. So, I've always had good people around me and good coaches and good teammates. So just playing here and growing up here was really special for me.
So, I think one of the things that people know sort of most about you is this documentary, right? At all costs. Did you have any idea that this thing would be as popular as it's been?
Man, like just thinking about that, what you just said is crazy. I did not, like when we did it at the time, it was just like really raw, just the crew just following me and my dad around, just filming us on things. I never thought people would, respect that.
Did it seem like a big deal at the time? Like, how did these kids, I assume they're kids that came in, young guys came in, they probably pitched you on a story. Tell us how that comes together.
I just think it just has to start with somebody believing in you, somebody just wanted to, take a chance on you. And that's all it takes nowadays. And, when we did that film, it was just, it was me, it was no acting. All the footage was raw, one take kind of stuff. And, I really enjoyed it.
I probably represent the 1% that didn't know anything about that until like 2 days ago. Remember we was all hanging out. Scoop was like, "You a kid from the documentary, right?"
Yeah.
And then I don't think you realized, but I like leaned over to Scoop like, "What you talking about?"
Yeah.
So he told me, and then I went and looked it up on Netflix 2 days ago, and I watched it, and I came back to Ben. I'm like, "Did you know about this?" He was like, "You didn't know about this?" You know what I'm saying? So it was really dope. I liked it. But one question I had, like, when was that, 2013, 14?
We started filming maybe like 2012. Yeah,
and it tracked you for like 2 years or something like
right,
that.
Right.
Okay, so around that time, content was big. I think it was booming. It was trending upward. But to see where it is now in 2019, like content is everything. It's a new documentary, new whatever dropping every day. Did you think at the time, like looking at a kid that experienced that, what was that, 6-7 years ago, to see where content is now, like, you know what I'm saying? That's got to be crazy for you. Like, you didn't even know what you were doing at the time,
No.
I feel like when Netflix, like 3 or 4 years ago, Netflix had a lot of stuff, but it didn't have as much as it does today.
No.
And like your face was right there on everyone's Netflix.
Yeah.
And so I feel like At All Costs probably got seen more than any other sports documentary. Maybe not any other one, but it had to be super popular. Do you feel like that's the case? Have you heard that to be the case?
Yeah, I have. I mean, I can just go off and, base it off of the love and support I've been receiving, on Instagram. And I mean, I'll just be out walking. I was in San Diego with my girlfriend, and we were out, just on the streets. And I haven't been to San Diego, and some kid was just like, "Man, I saw the documentary." Like, just how I couldn't even, I was amazed by how he even realized I was there. It was nighttime. So it's been really cool, man.
It's so wild to me that something. Did you feel like the documentary was going to be a big deal when it was shot?
No.
Yeah, that's something that's small, right? Like a cool project just turns into something really, really big.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have any interest in continuing? Like, not even necessarily like and at all cost support too. But just like anything, documentary film, Netflix type business, like, do you have interest in that now that you have experience with it?
Definitely, because I've already, let a large following into my life this far. And I feel like so many people know about me. And I would think, to do something to continue on that, some kind of sorts would be, it would be nice.
Yeah, it's does it feel strange to have so many people know the story?
Not at all. Not
Yeah.
at all, because, the group, the following that I want to reach is a big one. And I think they would like to know, like a guy like me, how did he make it, to such a big level?
Yeah, yeah. And how did your dad take everything? Did he like the film? Did he not like the film?
He loved it. I
He
mean,
loved
you
it,
saw,
yeah.
how that's him,
Yeah.
every day. So I think to also see that side from a parent's view is it's really special, and it's really nice.
Next time you come, you got to bring him, bro.
Oh, he'd love it. He'd love it.
Yeah, we have to have Ramon in the studio.
Yeah, he loved that.
Yeah, no, it seems like to me it's such a springboard today. I think we were talking about it over the weekend with Alonzo. Attention is everything, right? And I think you grabbed hold of people's attention, and you shared your story. And now I feel like people want to understand. I mean, that's why we're talking with you now. Is I think people want to continue and understand your story and see where you go. What's life like right now? Tell people what you're up to.
Life is good. Life is good, man. When you graduate college, just everything in your life just changes, because it's the first time where you just have to figure things out. And that's just kind of what I've been doing, just like figuring everything out.
Does it feel strange not to be part of the Arizona family at this point? Is it still, does that feel like it's really over, or like, how does that feel at this moment?
It feels weird, like not being on the team, I'd say. But I feel like being active still in the community, and just, just the family, just being a part of it, I'll always be connected.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it must be weird that first time you see them suit up and start to play this year, and you're like, wait a minute, I'm not running this team.
Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's definitely weird, for sure.
So with the Arizona team, do you feel like, 4 years of Arizona basketball, do you feel like it's helped you get where you want to go? Do you feel like the experiences you had were beneficial?
Definitely. And I wouldn't just, relate all that to the basketball side of things. I think being a part of that program and going to that school has helped me tremendously in other parts, in other areas of my life, just by meeting people and networking and making all types of relationships.
Yes.
I feel like, I know you're a pioneer for like young athletes who have, documented your life. You got, even before the era of even myself. I'm 27, you 22?
23.
23. Even a guy that's older than us, Sebastian Telfair, he's obviously got a legendary documentary. But being a kid like that and seeing like everything going on today, you got the Ball family who's doing a lot of that type of stuff, and it's a lot of kids that are into that. Like, if someone like that, like a parent of one of those kids in particular, are listening right now, being a part of that, what would you advise? Like, looking back 6-7 years after doing that, like, I know it's positive, like, you know what I'm saying, but like, right. What is your scope of just how you see that trending right now?
Well, I would just say, all kids can, can make it and be what they want to be. I think sky's the limit really for anybody, because, I'm beating all the odds, like physical appearance and all that types of things. So I think with work ethic and just hard work, it can happen. Anything can happen.
Yeah. It just strikes me that, you've spent your whole life working. Are there ways that you approach your day and the work you do? Like, do you think about training? Like, tell us what your days look like.
I've always been very strategic and been good with like following a routine. And every day is different, but it can bring its all different sets of challenges. But I just think just taking every day like it is, and approaching it and attacking it with a type of mindset like you're just going to attack the day and just hope positive things come from it. I think it can really help you in all parts of your life.
Yeah. I know we always hit on this, JD, but I have to how did you handle all the criticism, that you deal with, whether it was in high school, because there's so many people that follow high school basketball, whether it's Arizona, where I know, I mean, you deal with so many haters. How do you deal with that? And how did you learn to deal with that?
I just learned from watching my older brother deal with things, and my father and my mother. They just set good examples. I'm very observant, so I like to watch and observe other people, and just lucky for me, I've had good people to look up to.
And what did they say to you? Did they tell you like don't listen? Like what did they say? Like how did you get through that?
I just think it's just who I am. I'm very calm, just very level-headed. I don't let things get to me easily. I take everything with a grain of salt, man. I just, not everyone's going to like you. They're going to criticize you. You just got to keep moving. Just keep going forward.
Yeah. Are you active on social media?
Yeah, pretty active.
So what's your game plan with social media? Do you like putting stuff out there? What do you put out there? What's your game?
Well, like we were talking the other day, Jordan, about, perception. And it's just like, I'll give the people what I think I should put out there, and what's appropriate and positive. I'm not going to just put anything out there. Everything's about these days perception, and then people are watching every move you make. So, I'm active, but I'm careful. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. What's are there any social media follows you have that you particularly like?
I don't know about that.
What about Arizona guys? Is there anyone you that you're looking at all the time?
Like
Like
playing wise?
Yeah, with their social media.
Oh, social media.
Like which of these Arizona guys has fire social media in your opinion? Is it Zoe? Is it DeAndre? Is it some of the young, older guys? Like,
well, I'll just go with some Arizona guys. I mean, Gilbert Arenas has to be number one. He's number one.
He's a must follow.
Oh yeah, he's funny, man. But and he's a Valley guy.
Yeah,
Grant High School.
Yeah, so you guys definitely know each other.
Yeah. Kinda.
Did he give you any advice?
Not really. I mean, like, I didn't really get to like meet him and really sit down with him. I would have liked to though.
I think it's funny. Arizona, like, they love celebrating all their players except for one.
Yeah,
and that's Gilbert Arenas.
Yeah. Oh man, it's interesting. But yeah, he's a legend.
Yeah. And have you been surprised? I met you the other night. We were hanging out with Alonzo Trier.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been amazed or surprised by his success so far? Did you see that coming?
Yeah, definitely. And I'm not just saying that because, he was my teammate. I've known Alonzo since we were 12. And, childhood phenom. But he's always just had that, if you have it, it's just like, no matter what happens, like, you're always going to get it, and he's in a position where, he can really thrive, and he's doing just that.
Yeah. Was it shocking to see, like, when we were talking about that dunk he had, I think, against Atlanta? Did you see that coming?
Man, like I said, I'm not surprised by anything he's doing. I'm really not. Like, I just sit back and am amazed about, all the success he's had early on with that dunk and other things. But it's really good to see. I'm really happy for him.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it must be crazy to see. Like, it just seems like it's so easy for things to go one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Do you see that with some of your guys? You must be friends with some of the other Arizona guys over the last few years, where you've seen some guys succeed, some guys not succeed.
Yeah. I mean, just look at TJ. TJ
Yeah.
McConnell, man. He's kind of just, you know, just made his way just off of just with a chip, man.
And how did he do that?
Well, TJ doesn't take a day off, a minute off. I mean, that guy, you know, outside the lines, he's a great guy. But, you know, when he steps on the floor, it's just like, it's me against you, you know. And, you know, I'm going to get the best of you because I'm playing hard all the time. All the time.
Yeah. And you played with him for 2 years, right?
Just one.
Oh, 1
Just
year. 1 year.
Yeah.
What was that like?
I learned a lot from him.
You did.
Yeah, like I said, I'm very observant. And he just, you know, he kicked my butt every day.
At first, were you
Every
pissed?
day.
Were you like, man, I'm Parker, man, I should be playing more?
No,
no.
definitely. I mean, you got, you know, I think the other thing is guys have to understand when you come into college, no matter how good you are coming from high school, you start from zero. You know what I mean? You probably understand that, Jordan. I'm like, I'm no different. I was no different. So I just wanted to learn as much as I could, you know, in that short period of time, in that 1 year.
Can you speak to that, JD?
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that you had that mindset at 18, you was ahead of the game. I didn't have it at 18. That's why I transferred.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Yeah.
I went down to South Florida. They were still a part of the Big East at the time where that conference was still put together.
Okay.
That's the reason I went down there. I'm like, all right, we're going to be playing against Connecticut, Syracuse, all these high-powered teams. I'm with like one of the lower tier teams, but it's great weather down here, and, you know, I'm going to be the man.
Yeah.
My first game, I probably played like 10 minutes. I was like, oh, no, I'm going back home. Looking back on it, I'm like, man, every kid was going, like, it's maybe 5 kids in the country that's not going through that were McDonald's All-American, that were promised they're going to start and play 20 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
the majority, the 99% rest of the country, that's what all the kids are going through. You got to earn your stripes and do your thing. But, yeah, I definitely relate to that.
Does it feel? Can you feel the money on the court, like during an Arizona practice, where you're like, man, this guy thinks he's making this much money, this guy thinks he's making this much money? Is that a part of like being on a team these days?
I mean, I don't know, man. I try to, you know, let the people on the outside kind of judge that and make up their own stories. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, you must be sitting there playing with DeAndre Ayton, being like, man, this dude,
Yeah.
you like,
I mean, you always know who the guys are.
yeah,
You know, like I'm playing with DeAndre Ayton, so you know that. But it's just like if you're on a team, you know, you're a team. You're just that, man. You just gotta
Yeah.
worry about being equal.
I tell people all the time, like, I don't know, I've had a lot of basketball experiences, obviously, like, from going to Pistons practices since I was a child to playing for the family during AAU. My high school, we were number 4 in the nation at one time. South Florida and Michigan. My year I played in Germany against your brother. That's a funny story in itself. I told Parker the other day. So I played against Parker's brother in Germany in 2016. And, you know, when you're overseas, you see another American, it's like a feeling of solitude. Like, you say what's up, give each other some dap, a hug. Like,
Yeah.
we going through the same struggle. So we saw each other a few times throughout the year. And that later on after that season, that off season, I came to LA and I was training here, working out, and we just happened to run each other in the same gym. Like, we saw each other like, oh, what's up, bro? So I'm not really thinking much of it. Like, okay, he must be from here. So maybe a few months later, this was in the summer. So in the fall, I happened to be at Arizona game on. I'm looking at it. I'm like, yo, does he go to Arizona now? What the fuck is going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, they damn near like twins. So I'm like, you know, maybe, you know, sometimes overseas kids come, like Larry Markkinen, you know what I'm saying? You can play professionally overseas and still come to college. So that's, for a long time, that's who I thought it was. I'm like, he must have just went to Arizona. But then I kind of figured out the story. But I was just saying, a lot of different basketball experiences through, you know, all of those different mediums of basketball. And I tell people all the time, like, yeah, what you see on TV or see during games is incredible, but a lot of times what you see, like when you're just playing pickup and playing in practices, like through all of those different experiences, I've seen some crazy plays made. And it made me think of you when you were just talking to him about like all the different prospects and players that came through. Like, I could only imagine some of the things you saw Zoe do in open gym. I could only imagine some of the things DeAndre, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's when the magic happens.
Definitely.
So through your 4 or 5 years at Arizona, all those different pros, I know some special moments happen in those gyms.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And you must have just slayed people though, yourself. You know.
Yeah. I mean, practice is fun. Practice is fun, man, because it's a lot of playing. It's like you're playing against your teammates, and in my case, and I'm sure your case too, it's just like there's your teammates are really talented, so you're going up against them, and the best comes out of you when you're playing good people. So
yeah, that's so dope. So what do you feel like? Tell us a little bit about 2019 for you. What's coming up next? What's on the agenda? Tell the people like what I think they want more Parker Jackson Cartwright.
Yeah, man. Just stay involved, really.
Yeah.
With basketball,
working
out, and it's like playing in college wears wear and tear on your body. It's like 4 years, all those practices. It's a lot.
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. Just conversations with my father and a lot of people within the basketball world that, from an older generation, like the kids of today, like the things that you guys are going through and shit. We went through it too in my era. Like, you could see it in the documentary, you battle injuries. And a lot of times that's from overcompensation of just constantly always playing. Like, if you look at a Greg Oden, his career ended because of that. Like, by the time he got to the NBA, his body is shot. Like, so many kids. You're not alone. Ben Simmons has to sit out a full year. Joel Embiid had to sit like 2 years. Like, so more and more throughout basketball, when kids first enter the league or first are getting out of college, they need a year or two for their bodies to recover, just because college is so grueling. The AAU circuit is so grueling.
College is just getting longer too. Arizona started playing like end of October. It's so crazy. It felt like it wasn't even November yet.
It's a grind. It's a grind. Like, just the off season alone, it's just like it can really wear on your body.
Yeah, it's crazy. And I went through it too at Michigan. When I transferred to Michigan, I had 2 meniscus surgeries. Health was just shot at that point, after a high school career, AAU career, all the different things. I think you should be like the king of content, bro. Like, you're a pioneer in it. Like, you was doing it when you was 15, 16 years old.
Yeah.
So you, I think you got a different perspective on it because you actually know the business a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Definitely.
Yeah, you are the future. I mean, we always talk about it. We're like, man, living in front of the camera, this is what life is for everybody now in 2019. And I feel like you were doing that before.
Right.
And I think the best is yet to come. And I just, when I mentioned to my friends that I was going to be talking with you, they're like, oh man, like they were treating you like Braun, man. Like they were like, I think you're just like, you're known. You're just really known that way. And that's, it's a very special thing.
Right. Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah. All right. Couple of quick questions and we'll be out of here. Do you despise UCLA?
Oh, no.
No.
Nah, man.
No, USC, UCLA, no rivalry there. No.
Well, growing up, I was, UCLA, Ben Hallen, the Final Four.
Yeah.
It's just like, you grow up loving that. And I did.
I always thought Jordan Farmar had a dope game.
Oh, yeah. Jay Farm, I mean, Russell, Aaron is just like, just the list.
So as an Arizona guy, you're not bred to not dislike UCLA at all.
No.
No.
Just like respect.
Oh, respect.
Yeah. Respect, man, for sure.
Yeah. Thing you miss the most about Arizona basketball and leaving the program?
I think just being with the team, just like being with my teammates, just not on the court, but off the court too. We had a lot of good times. Yeah. It was really fun.
Yeah. It seemed like you and Deuce.
Yeah.
Like you guys were buddies and yeah.
Yeah, I made a lot of good friendships.
Good times, yeah. Favorite NBA player right now? Like who are you watching? Like when you turn on the TV to watch hoops, like what are you tuning in for right now? Tuning in for?
You know, I like all the all the stars. You know, James Harden. I'm a big Damian Lillard fan.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
I really like him
I feel
because
you.
he's not. You know what I mean? Like he's not big, but like he's just really good. Like
Mhm.
he's just really fun to watch, man.
Mhm.
yeah. That's a great call.
I agree. I'm a big Dame guy.
Yeah. I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. He just kind of flies under the radar, but he's killing guys. He's killing guys.
Yeah, always underestimated up there in Portland, I would say.
Definitely.
And Portland's always good. That's the weird part. They're always like a good team, and then
Yeah.
people are surprised. They're like, "Oh wow, yeah,
Just solid.
yeah,
Just solid, man.
yeah." Cool. Is there anywhere our audience can go follow you on social media?
Yeah, PG Mino 0. That's my Instagram. So
How
you
do
can
you
follow-
spell that?
You definitely spell it for people.
PGMINO 0. Go follow me on there. And I'm Unruly Mino on Twitter. Unruly Mino 0. You might have to check that. I don't even really know.
Is there a story behind that?
I was just gonna ask you, what does Mino mean?
Okay, so in college, it was funny. Like after a game, because after the game you come back to the tunnel and you meet
Yeah.
see fans and your parents or whatever. These two ladies were like, you move so fast, you through the people, you're like a Mino, like a little minnow. And I'm like, wow, what is that? So I did some research and it's like, a little fish, like one of those fishes that, are really fast. So like, oh, wow, that's pretty cool. And it just stuck with me, man. And then it just stuck. So ever since then.
That's like the best nicknames. Like they're like a little bit you like it, a little bit you hate it, and like it's weirdly accurate. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like those are the best nicknames.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So shout out those ladies, man. That was really cool.
Well, we'll have to have you back.
Mm-hmm.
Next time we'll bring on Ramon as well.
Oh, he would, man. When I tell him, he'll be.
Oh man, I'll be so psyched to talk to him because we'd really love to dig in more on the media side, understand, because we're an entrepreneur podcast. We want to better understand how the best athletes, entrepreneurs are figuring out media and figuring out the game online, so to speak, the real game.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to have you back. So.
Well, thank you for having me, man. This was cool.
Appreciate this, bro.